Hi, everybody. So I've got Kelly with me here today, and we're going to talk about what I call the map of the universe, the energetic map of the universe. So astrology, but we've got a new moon coming up, and this is our map to what's coming next energetically, and it's going to be big. So how you doing, Kelly?
I'm doing okay. It's really helpful to have astrology just so you kind of know what energies you're dealing with. And also when, you know your own chart, you can also realize what is specifically, focusing on you. So I always invite people to, have a session if you want to apply this material to what's going on for you. But, there are other ways to know about that. And, sometimes when you're listening, it's like, okay, that I really feel that one, so, and certain signs, are targeted at certain times. So, yeah, keep listening.
So what's going on with this new moon, Kelly? It
New
feels big.
moon.
Like there's a
It
lot of intense
is.
things going on.
It is, and it's very magical and alchemical. So let me start sharing and look at kind of what's going on here. It's a new moon in Scorpio, and this first image is giving you a little hint. So I just want people to kind of, dwell on this image for a moment, which is a flower called the night blooming cereus. And it is a tropical flower that grows on a very, not very pretty vine, and it only blooms one night, and it's incredibly fragrant. And there can be many on a vine, but each one only lasts like one night. So this is the picture I took during a night blooming cereus party. And
That's wild.
yes. And what's in the middle is, the tarot magician card. So let me show you why I put the magician in there. Oh, hmm. I'm not being allowed to move forward. Now, how did we do this?
I don't know. You were
Um,
clicking through them earlier.
I was. So I don't know why now. Oh, there we go. Okay, so here's the map. Here's the cosmic blueprint of this new moon. And so right down here, there's the moon and there's the sun, the new moon at 28 Scorpio. That's near the end of Scorpio. And also at 28 is Mercury, which is retrograde, which means, like, from our point of view, it looks like it's going backwards in the sky. And it's right aligned on this new moon, which means that it's halfway through its 20 or 21 day retrograde period, which started on November 9th, 10th, and goes until November 29th. So it's like halfway through on this new moon. So it's in the same degree as the sun. So what this means is that Mercury dropped out. It's hard enough to see anyway, but it dropped out of the evening sky and it's turning around the other side of the sun. And so right now it's in between the earth and the sun. So it's right in, like, it's channeling the solar energy, which is pretty spectacular these days with all the solar flares and the Atlas are in the territory. And so this is Mercury still retrograde, but in direct alignment with the sun. So that image of the magician bringing heaven down to earth is absolutely appropriate for this energy here. And we're going down deep in to the Scorpio energy, which is water. So we've still got this water triangle that we've had for a couple of the last lunations, new moons, full moons, that is connecting, the new moon right in the hub of this triangle, connecting up all the water signs. So there's huge water. And when we have a trine, they're all really smoothly flowing together. And this is a very deep energy, for perception because Mercury is there. And Mercury's in this moment aligned with the sun. So our perception is changing and coming directly from the solar source in we can't even it's beyond mental. It's not mental. It's in Scorpio. It's in water. We're feeling it. It's like that gut knowing. It's like something inside of you is is percolating, we could say, at tapping in to like the energy, like a dowsing rod, like the dowser kind of using the magnetic field to figure out where the water is, where that spring is bubbling up deep below the surface. And we're needing to tap in to that internal bubbling spring right now to feel the energy and feel the power and feel that solar source. And then we have the water that's in Pisces, including Neptune, that's just gone back into Pisces in the last week or I forget when it went back into Pisces, but it was in Aries and now it's back in Pisces. And so Saturn, it did the same thing. It went into Aries and it went back into Pisces. So we've got this Piscean, oceanic, spiritual field of energy that is also we're tuning into in a very subtle, like vibrational way. And also the Saturn is like, okay, this is manifestation of your vision. So we're tuning into the capacity and potential for instant manifestation of our vision. But we also need to clarify, get clear on our vision because there's a lot of Neptunian veils of illusion that we are like a dirty windshield that we're trying to see through in the midst of a storm. So we need to keep our windshield wipers on and clean our windows as much as we can while with this going on and Saturn's helping because Saturn is like the it's tuning us in to the most I don't want to use the word realistic vibe, but the vibe that is effective that we feel like yes, this is the radio station that I'm tuning into. I don't want any static coming in. The static would be the Neptune. So Saturn is trying to like adjust the dial and fine tune. And
Mhm.
Pisces is like we all feel it. It's like a sponge. And it's like, I don't want to be in this dirty water. I don't want to be on this vibration. I don't like the way that's feeling. So
Yeah.
the Scorpio is okay then. Let's go down deeper and find the clear water, find that bubbling spring, let go of that dirty stuff, let go of the pollution that's in the collective field. And, kind of this is where we're clarifying our own vision of where we want to head without being influenced by other people or news or information that isn't coming from the direct source that we are dowsing within ourselves. And then we've got Jupiter in Cancer, which is just flowing with life-giving energy and grace and abundance and anything you want if you're open to receive it. So this is beautiful, high energy that's also challenging us to look at our belief systems that are impacted by old stuff, by, old family stuff, by the inner child that you've been talking about so much lately, honey. This is like the inner child wants the grace and the freedom and to be healed and to engage with the wisdom, but that we do need to let go of certain attachments, certain sentimentalities that are not useful
Hmm.
and not going to go with us into the new space we're envisioning.
Yeah. I mean, right now is a huge shift. And if you think about it, we've been in the fifth density for a while now. And a lot of people haven't recognized that yet. So why haven't they recognized it? Because they're still running on their 3D program.
Yeah.
So that 3D program is breaking right now, and it's being forced to the surface
Mm, mm,
by
mm.
people, like being forced with the people. They have to look at themselves right now if they're still carrying around 3D ideas and 3D programming, which honestly, like everybody is. There's Everybody's got something that's 3D that we've been taught this is the way it works.
And also, we're
And
attached to it because we're afraid of the unknown.
right. And we're being like, and also trauma is being pushed to the surface.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and people are starting to surrender as well, saying, well, I don't know what's going on, but I'm just going to let go and let it happen. And honestly, that's a really good thing. So people are going through their dark night of the soul, some of them,
Yeah.
and it's dark night of the inner child soul. It's not necessarily dark night of your big soul. And that is this reality. Like
Yeah.
your inner
Yeah.
child is connected to your body and your subconscious and your nervous system. And your inner child has to heal. That's why we're here, is to heal the human part of us. So it's a
Yeah.
very intense time, and there's a lot of upgrades happening.
Mm.
So, I mean, I would say we're in probably the biggest storm right now. And we're also in that Mercury retrograde, which to me is let's clean up this spiral so that we can actually go up this time versus looping.
Yeah, going back. And this is the repeat. This is part of cancer. This is the old programming. And this is, cancer is a very personal sign. It's very subjective. It takes things personally, and part of that is from how we grew up, from old influences, from, family patterning. And it's like, no, we need to expand and grow beyond that right now. And this is part of also the remembering. So that's also Cancer has a very good memory. And so here we are in this Scorpio new moon with Mercury right there, plunging down really deep, really deep. And that's the traumas, coming up and, bubbling to the surface and all of that because this is the sign that goes that deep. And it's not only Mercury that's right with the new moon, there's also the black moon, what's often called Lilith, Black Moon Lilith. So I'm following my slides. So hold the thought. And here we are looking at more of the pattern of this moon, which is really wild. So here's the Mercury retrograde. And the magician part of that, often this card is connected to Mercury, who's the alchemical agent of transformation and change. and manifestation too, magic, seemingly, and magic is afoot. This is
Mhm.
certainly part of what's going on. And then on the other side of the moon at 26, that's still really, really close and embedded in this new moon energy is this black moon. Now, it is not a body, it is not a moon, but it has to do with the way the moon goes around the Earth, and the orbit is not is it's variable. It's not a steady orbit. It doesn't loop in the come back around to the same place hardly ever. It's sort of like a race car on a track, and it goes around, and it's never on the same path as it goes around the racetrack. So sometimes it's closer to the Earth, sometimes it's farther away from the Earth. And the black moon, it denotes uh, the other focal point of that orbit that is not round with one center, it's elliptical. Ellipse has two mathematical points that create an ellipse. You may have learned that in school when you put, two pins and then you have a pencil going around and it makes an ellipse. So the black moon is this other point, intimately connected to the moon going around the earth. And if we think of the moon being like the womb of the mother that births us into incarnation, the black moon is something deeper, something soul connected. It's not physical, it's something deeper than that, that is part of our desire to incarnate. And it's a soul energy. So this soul energy is like no fooling around. It's like, this is the traumas coming up. It's deal with it. I definitely had a black moon visitation the other day. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I got a really expensive speeding ticket. And I've been knowing I need to slow down, but I didn't even notice. It was night. I was trying to stay on the my side of the road in this narrow road, and I was didn't even know I was speeding. And the black moon just bust me bad. And so, I could realize that. And that's a seemingly superficial example, but it did hit me hard in the
Yeah.
pocketbook kind of thing. So, but some of these are much more serious traumas. And, if I follow that back, I can remember when I've gotten tickets before. I can remember the whole engagement with the police person, and it brought up a lot of issues with with authority figures, and it can go way down many layers. So
Mhm.
this is part of what the black moon is like. Some of it is, really this deep stuff that, sludge that we don't even want to look at. And it's got to be, Scorpio wants to deal with it all down to the last drop because Scorpio doesn't want anything to come back and haunt you. So it's a just strip it down, just let it go. Whatever it takes, whatever process it takes.
Yeah.
So that's the black moon. And I'm going to show a little more about that. But let's look at this Uranus, the change agent, the expect the unexpected, that little shock value in here, which is back in Taurus now for the next several months, where it was for most of the last 7 years. And it's in Taurus, and it's very closely opposite this new moon. It's at 29 degrees, 29 minutes Taurus. So there's some numerology playing around here with the Mercury trickster energy. And it's also
7-Eleven.
opposite. It's also opposite Mercury there. So Mercury and Uranus are like a totally out of the blue piece of information, or it could be memory, or whatever, an experience, because Taurus is an earth sign. Taurus is an earth sign here. So
Mhm.
this is going to take all the water and focus it into some kind of obvious change in circumstances. And it can be for, better or worse, but we want to go for the better. So, that's why I'm trying to make, you know, lemonade out of lemons with this
Right.
speeding ticket.
Well, I
And I
mean,
did a little,
everything is lessons right now.
yeah.
And
Oh,
there's lessons, whatever you hadn't learned, whatever you've been holding back on, they're on the surface right now because we
yeah.
can't create
Yeah.
in a fifth density dimensional way
Yeah.
if we're still like creating 3D.
We're still stuck. And
Yeah.
that's what Taurus can be. It can be like you're stuck in the mud. You're
Yeah.
not budging. And Scorpio is going to just, you know, liquefy that mud and sweep it out. Are you
Yeah.
going with it or are you going to, get out of there and make your life better? And this is it. If you don't like how you're feeling or what you're experiencing, how do you change it? How deep can you go into the subatomic realms and
Yeah.
rearrange inside yourself, which is going to change the outcome of any situation. And this is deeply felt. This can be scary, dark stuff. But there is that night blooming Sirius, like just doing her beautiful thing to show you the potential that is beyond, and
Mhm.
we're going to get some of those special moments. So keep looking out for those. So, and Uranus, it's one of the change agents. It's going to be right in this area in late Taurus all the way through most of April, and then it will change sign where it was before in Gemini, and that's just going to be a real change maker time frame. So, so here is the more about this dynamic between the black moon, Mercury retrograde, aligned with the sun source on this new moon opposite Uranus. So I got a newsletter from this lovely woman, Layla, who channels the vastness of being. And she had a phrase in while she was talking about something very resonant to what we're talking about now. And she wrote, a frequential recalibration is happening. And I loved that word. I love that word frequential because that's absolutely it. It's not sequential. You
Mm-mm.
know, things are rearranging and 3D can be, kind of sequential, but we're going into quantum consciousness and it does not need to be sequential at all. It can go through this place and end up over there. So, it's like, what are the resonant tonalities that are being evoked in any of your experiences, which can bypass sequential? And then I
Mhm.
thought of, well, not just frequencies, but infrequencies, because this is unusual stuff going on here. So we're having a lot of infrequencies, and I like that too. And they're being generated from this deep Scorpio alchemical secrecies and
Yeah.
these erotic secretions, I'm going to call them, because we're talking about fluid here. And we're talking about Scorpio, the deeply erotic sign that is evoking something deep, deep in your desire body that wants to be manifest. So this is the bubbling up and of like what is bubbling up, and do not be afraid of it. Whatever, dark stuff comes out there is going to dissolve. It's going to dissipate. But you want the clear drinking water. This is using a lot of filters in a positive way.
Mhm. Yeah, and the frequencies are changing, which is what's pushing everything to the surface. And
Yeah.
it's like the universe is saying it's time. Get it together. It's time. let
Yeah.
go. It's time. All those things are happening, and we've got a lot of intensity right now, and it's hard on people. But if
Hmm.
you let go, it's easier to heal now than it has ever been.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just being willing to heal.
Yes. And receptive to the beauty of the energies and the healing forces coming in. And that's part of the Cancer thing. It can you can feel very vulnerable when you're open to receiving. But
Mhm.
these energies are beautiful and divine. You can certainly be open to that. Sometimes maybe not from other people, but this is what are you letting in? So it's really powerful and beautiful energy with all this water. And like I said, this water triangle has been around for a bit, but this is a peak moment of it in terms of its depth and intensity and what's stirring in the very deep places of our hearts, even and our souls with the black moon there. So I wanted to jump forward a little bit because this eclipse. I mean, there is an eclipse in in February of February 17th next year, which is only a few months away. And so the that eclipse is going to be a solar eclipse at 28 Aquarius, which activates the energy of this new moon and helps bring it more in to our collective space, especially because this is an eclipse that changes the energy. So we are tapping now, we're dowsing in deeply to energies that are going to have further implications come through on this solar eclipse in February.
So would you say, this is what I'm getting, do your best to heal it now, whatever it is, because it will probably be coming up again in a even more intense way in
Yes.
February.
February is one of the most important months of next year because that's when the Neptune and Saturn go back into Aries and connect together, and the reality is shifting wildly. And if you still have stuff you're dragging along, it's gonna be a little harder. So that's just a little, little, put it on your calendar. And then I wanted to share with you I've done a lot of work with the Black Moon and Lilith, and these are my two books, in case you don't know. And these images are very Lilith. This is from the front of Notre Dame Cathedral, which has a lot of sculptures on the portals that you go through to get into the cathedral. And this is Lilith with the serpent tail. She's connected to the serpent in the Garden of Eden who gave Eve the apple. And so this is that deep story that we think of as Christian, but it actually goes back farther
Mhm.
and about being in the tree of knowledge and what all that is about. So, this is often she's considered to be rather demonic. But in Eastern cultures, the serpent tail, this is significant of wisdom.
Right.
So that's what we wrestle with in the dark night of the soul, the angels within us and turning, into the light. And then this is another beautiful, it's like when two photographs are overlaid on each other. My wonderful friend Jim Eaton, photographer, created this image, and I think so, it's like the surrender to the mystery. And
Hmm.
that's what Scorpio and the power of this moon is like surrendering because we sometimes want to know what's going on. I just want to understand what's going on. And Scorpio says there are mysteries that you cannot understand. You need to feel it. You need to surrender to it. You need to let that magic and mystery envelop you and inspire your soul. So that's, part of what's going on here.
It's a big time of surrender. And it's
And
surrendering the 3D.
yes. And often Lilith will come along as the third party, right? And say, "Hey, did you forget me? Like, what about, it's like you need a little reminder of something that's very deep in you that you've been denying or hiding or afraid of, like, and so sometimes this is like the people that trigger you or you triggering other people. And then like, what all is that about? So that's, part of who are you encountering and how what is that encounter evoking in you? So that's part of that. And one more really special dynamic here has to do with um, Characlo and interacting with Venus. So this is the feminine healing energy, and it is part of the invitation to love yourself and trust yourself. Radical trust. That's also a black moon thing. Radical trust, loving yourself deeply and unconditionally. And that's part of the healing energy of the divine feminine. So I wanted to look back at the last new moon that we talked about 2 weeks ago, where Characlo was right in between the moon and the sun. And now Venus has come into that area and is interacting with Characlo to bring up, again, some of this emotional stuff that we really need to be letting go of. And last week I said that there's this empty corner in Leo that has to do with creativity and self-expression, but also reminds us of that eclipse happening in February yet again to kind of bring together something that's being evoked by this whole, these lunations here, and especially this new moon. Now, Characlo is the partner or consort or feminine aspect of Chiron, the shamanic healer. And they are these unique objects in the solar system called centaur objects, which is named for the half horse, half man energy that Chiron was. He was the most famous of the centaurs,
Mhm.
and he was a master teacher and healer. And then Characlo was a mermaid who fell in love with him. They fell in love, and she shifted her shape to be able to become a centaur woman and partner with Chiron. So there's part of this divine healing energy with the masculine and the feminine. And here she is, kind of merged as the mermaid in the energy of the water that has deep, that can communicate with us and is so much a part of our bodies. How important it is to have clean water, pure water, and we're purifying our waters during this moon. So here is that night blooming Sirius blossoming forth, and this deep feminine healing energy, both from the black moon, who can be pretty strict about it. She's going to crack her whip and let you know you got to deal with something. And then, wow, it's bliss. And also Venus, the our emotional energy is also being healed And we really need to kind of squeeze out the sponge from some of the bad feelings we have about ourselves, that also often we carry from the past and that the inner child carries, so that we're coming into a beautiful magical blossoming here with this beautiful blossom that's deeply scented and reminding us of the beauty of nature and our own beauty as well. So, this is healing our heart intelligence and healing our emotional energy. Next time, with the next full moon, Mars is in play. So we get more into the divine masculine on the next full moon. So right now we're working more on this deep emotional level that is most associated with the divine feminine and that quality of healing, of just holding the space for that healing to happen and letting it be, letting it do its thing, trusting the process, trusting that this is happening, and trusting yourself to go through this, to come out of it, no matter how it hits you to begin with. You don't need to hold that shock or that trauma. You can let it flow. You can let it, dissolve. You can let it alchemize into something that is beautiful.
Yeah, I love that. And it is time for that. It's really like let yourself have some fun while you're still
Yeah,
healing.
yeah.
We've been so serious for so long. Enjoy parts of this. Like there are so many great things going on. And I don't think it's really, I mean, to me, it makes perfect sense that we have to heal the 3D because everything comes from within us. We have to heal them to let it go before we build the new world.
It's the falseness. It's the false
Yeah,
part anyway. It's not
right.
truly who we are.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that is, so available now. And Uranus is, it can happen in a split second. It can
Yeah,
happen in a moment. And Uranus is like, be a little wild with this. This is the wild woman, or the wild man. This is a bit wild, and
yeah,
that can really be well channeled into some creativity, like, dancing around your living room. Or right now I can look out the window and go dance in the snow. So,
right,
but that
right.
that try something new and different. And this is also that freeing up, that uh, what do I want to say? That the old patterns, they're just too constricting right now. They're holding us back. We want to be held in an energy that can open and blossom anew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's totally time for that. And it's time to heal all the parts. So, all the parts of yourself, all the parts of your body, your mind, your nervous system, it's time for all of it to be
Yeah.
healed
Yeah.
because we don't want to go and create through the lens of trauma.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
none of the kids that are coming in are going to put up with that.
Yeah, what part of your body is talking to you? Where is the energy stuck? Your body's going to tell you.
Yeah, it's
And keep
amazing right
breathing.
now.
If you're
Yeah,
underwater, if you're underwater, like, surface like the dolphin and the whale and the sea turtle and just get a breath of fresh air.
yeah, and change your environment. If you need to go for a
Yes.
drive, then do it. If you need to go to a new restaurant, then do it. If you need to create something you've never done before, do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put some a chunk of chocolate of cacao in my coffee this morning, and I thought I was being a little wild. I thought, oh, am I still going to enjoy this? And it's like, Kelley, just do it.
Yeah.
And it was good. Just a
Yeah.
little thing like that.
It doesn't take a lot. It's just shifting your reality because a
Yeah,
lot of these habits are like ingrained, so like for me, it's trying to do an infrared sauna every day. So I have a little portable one and I love it. And it
oh,
changes, you feel so much better if you do that because it helps release toxins. So
yeah,
doing things, and I've always been pretty adaptable to change, but it's can you continue to change and improve and let go? I mean, a lot of people, we would feel like, okay, well, we did that. We're done now. Can we just have our reward? Guess what? We have to go all the way. We have to
all the
heal
way.
all the way.
That's the Scorpio, all or nothing,
Hmm.
do or die.
Yeah,
Use it or you lose it. Kind of, that's Scorpio. Mm,
exactly. And this is a learning experience as well as an ascension process. It's not,
yeah,
so we're letting go. And if you're not, it's like we're being forced to. And if you still say no, then you're deciding whether you want to be here or not. That's
right,
what's going
right,
on.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. Yes, yes,
Yeah. This is great.
yeah. It's so
Beautiful,
potent,
Kelley.
so powerful. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And take it easy. This is Mercury retrograde. This is an internal process, and it is a process. So let it be. Mercury turns forward at the end of the month on the 29th, and then we'll be in a different kind of energy. We'll be in more Sagittarian movement energy. So and that's get your arrows out. You can start aiming for that even now. Get your arrows out. And, that's the Sagittarian, bow and arrow on its setting your goals, setting your targets, kind of setting your vision.
Yeah. It's a beautiful time for change right now. And the more we change, the faster the outside world changes.
Absolutely. And it
Yeah.
is internal now.
Yeah.
The shock value's coming from the outside. It's like, okay, use that well as clues to your own growth.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And I'm still getting, and I've talked about this a lot. The ascension window is closing at the end of 2026. So that means most people will have made their choice, like the choice of to go through it in their body or not, will be pretty much wrapped up by the end of
Mm.
next year.
Mm. Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's going to be the people that stick that out and are willing to really just keep on healing.
Yeah.
And they're going to be the ones who create the new world.
Mhm.
And we are going to be having tremendous change for years after that, too. So it's a beautiful time to be alive. I'm more thankful now than I've ever been when it
Mhm.
comes to being on Earth
Mhm. Yes.
because we're really
Mhm.
getting it done right now.
Mm. Yeah. Wow. It's a big wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is one of those, this is a new moon. So the new moon cycle that goes until December 4th. This is a big one. And and we're preparing for a new year, and we might want to do that, honey, right? Kind of get an overview of next year at some point. Though there are these peak moments, and I just pointed one out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's important and we will do that. If you have questions about that, definitely put them in the comments. I'm going to put all of Kelley's information right below and start thinking about what is it that I can heal right now. If you don't have some pretty blatant things coming up, then work on the small things so that they are resolved before February comes around. Because,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the more we work on things, the
Mm-hmm.
more we sail through this time when, people around us could be having a lot of stress and pain. because they've been holding back
Mm.
and, really consistently healing things as soon as they pop up and digging into them and not feeling like they're the biggest deal in the world and letting them heal. It's so
Yeah.
important right now. And I'm just really grateful that we have gotten to this point, that humanity has finally really gotten to a point where we cannot go back
Well,
to
that's it.
3D.
Yeah.
There's no way to go back to that. So it's beautiful. This
It's
is great.
beautiful.
Thank you, Kelley.
Uh,
Yeah.
well, beauty, joy, love, play, all the beautiful words. That's part of the Mercury retrograde. Edit yourself when you're getting into a downer, right? Okay, this is gonna be
Yeah,
good. Let's make it good. So anyway,
absolutely.
yeah, good conversation, longer than usual because it's pretty, there's a lot of deep stuff going on. So thank you all for listening and Honey for, yeah, continuing this dialogue with me. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. It's really important. And it makes more and more sense to me as we go,
Yeah.
how integrated it really is. And it is a map. And to understand the map is to know, okay, well, what can I do in my own life to shift?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's this
Yeah.
is supporting me doing
Mm-hmm.
things for myself. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.